Hello everybody, my name is Dale Owen and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play the Pokemon trading card game. In 1999, the company Media Factory released the very first set of Pokemon cards containing 102 individual cards. In 2003, the popular video game company Nintendo bought the rights of Pokemon from Media Company, and since then it has spread worldwide. The game itself is played in local, national, and worldwide championships every single year. Since its release in 1999, there have been over 59 playing card expansion sets with a total of over 5,000 different types of cards released. But how exactly do you play the game Pokemon? First, you need a deck of cards. In this deck of cards, you are required to have at least and at most 60 cards. There are different types of cards that will be included in your deck. The main type of card will consist of your Pokemons. Now each Pokemon attack the defending Pokemon and win you the game. Therefore, it is very important to choose which type of Pokemon you have in your deck. In order to attack with your Pokemon, you need to have energy attached to it. Energy is required to attack, and some Pokemon require very specific types of energy. The Pikachu, which we saw earlier, requires electric type of energy for some of its attacks. The different types of energy are darkness, psychic, fire, water, metal, fighting, electric, grass, and also a new released fairy type energy. You can have as many types of energy cards and Pokemon cards as you would like in your deck. You would also like to have trainer cards in your deck. Trainer cards are used to give yourself an advantage over your opponent. Because of this, you can only have 4 different types of a specific energy or trainer card in your deck. For example, I can only have 4 max potions in my deck. However, I can have in total as many trainer cards as I would like. Now there are different types of trainer cards. The first are regular item cards. Here we have a max potion which heals all damage for one of your Pokemon. In trade, however, you have to discard all your energy attached to that Pokemon. During play, you can play as many item cards as you would like. There are also supporter cards. Supporter cards are stronger and more powerful than item cards, and because of this, you can only play one per turn. There are also Pokemon tools. Pokemon tools are attached to either an active or defending Pokemon, and they increase its stats. In this example, Muscle Band will increase your Pokemon's damage by 20. There are special types of Pokemon tools called Ace Spec cards. Ace Spec cards are extremely powerful, and because of this, only one can be used per turn, and only one can be contained in the entire deck. There are also Stadium cards. Stadium cards affect both players equally. This Stadium card Battle City allows you to flip a coin once per turn. If you flip heads, you can draw a card. There are different types of phases in the game Pokemon. There is a draw phase, an action phase, and an attack phase. The draw phase is very simple. You draw a card from your deck and place it into your hand. The action phase occurs after you have drawn a card from your deck. There are a number of options for the action phase. One option is you can lay a basic Pokemon onto your bench, or from your hand onto your bench. Here we have an example of a basic Pokemon. Now don't let the name basic fool you. Some basic Pokemon are very powerful. Basic simply means it's either first stage or does not evolve into a higher Pokemon. Here, our Darkrai EX has 180 hit points, is a Darkness type Pokemon, only has 1 attack, which requires 2 Darkness energy, and the star that you see right there indicates that any type of energy can be used. It has an ability, which can be used at any time. You can see its weaknesses and its resistance, and you can also see its retreat cost, which I will get into in a little bit. During the action phase, you can evolve as many basic Pokemon as you would like. Here you can see the complete evolution stage for Sandile. Sandile evolves into Krokorok, which evolves into Crocodile. Now you can evolve as many basic Pokemon, or you can evolve as many Pokemon, in fact, as you like in a turn, but you can only evolve it one stage at a time. You cannot simply evolve Sandile straight up to Crocodile in one turn. You can also play your trainer cards. Now, as I mentioned before, you can play as many item cards as you would like. You can only play one supporter per turn, and supporter is indicated at the top right of the card, and you can only play one stadium card per turn. The Dark Claw you see right here is the same as the Muscle Band, except that it only works for darkness type energies. And this Trainer In card makes the opposing Pokemon shuffle his hand into his deck and draw the amount of cards equal to his or her remaining prize cards. You may also use your energy cards that may be in your hand during the action phase. Now you can only place one energy card onto an active or benched Pokemon once per turn. However, there are ways to get around this. You can use item cards or abilities from Pokemon to move energy cards around. This energy switch card allows you to move a basic energy from one Pokemon to another. And this Yveltal's attack Oblivion Wing, while doing 30 damage, also allows you to move a darkness energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. During the action phase, you can also retreat your Pokemon. This is extremely beneficial if your Pokemon is about to get knocked out, or if you would like to move a stronger Pokemon up onto the bench. However, you have to remove energy and discard that energy to your discard pile to retreat your Pokemon. Here you see that retreat cost is 2 energies. It is a silver energy because it indicates that any type of energy can be used to retreat it, but it has to be at least 2. Once you have completed any and all of the above steps, as many times as you like or are allowed, you move into the attack phase. During the attack phase, you attack the defending Pokemon and apply any special conditions to that defending Pokemon. Here you see a Jigglypuff that has been hit with 20 damage. We use damage markers to remember how much damage has been applied to each Pokemon. Once a total of 6 damage counters have been attached onto a Pokemon, the Jigglypuff will be knocked out, and you would pull out a prize card for knocking out that Jigglypuff. Some attacks have special conditions attached to it. This Meganium's attack, Sleeping Powder, does 30 damage and also makes the defending Pokemon fall asleep. Now, with the special conditions, cards are oriented to indicate what special condition is applied to them. Here, we first see asleep. When a Pokemon is asleep, you turn it counterclockwise. This Pokemon cannot attack or retreat. To awaken a Pokemon, you either play an item that removes special conditions or flip a coin. If you flip heads, your Pokemon wakes up, and if you flip tails, it stays asleep until the end of the next attack turn. There is also the burned condition. When a Pokemon is burned, it takes damage after each player's turn. You place a burn marker on a burned Pokemon to indicate that it's burned. To remove the burn, flip a coin. If heads, the burn is removed. If tails, you must place 2 burn markers on your Pokemon. Flipping consecutive tails will add consecutive damage counters onto your Pokemon and could eventually knock it out. When a Pokemon is paralyzed, you turn it clockwise. While a Pokemon is paralyzed, you cannot attack or retreat. You skip the attack phase of your turn until your next turn, when your Pokemon returns to normal. There is also the condition Confused. When a Pokemon is confused, you turn it upside down to indicate its confusion. When your Pokemon is confused, you must flip a coin before you attack. If you flip heads, then you attack normally. If you flip tails, however, Your Pokemon hurts itself in its confusion, and you must place 3 damage counters onto yourself. If your Pokemon is poisoned, you place a poison marker onto it. Between each turn, place a damage marker onto your Pokemon. Poison cannot be removed by flipping a coin, only by using items that remove that special condition. When you do damage to the defending Pokemon, be sure to check its weaknesses and resistances. Here, in this Meganium, we see its weakness to fire is 2. If a fire type Pokemon deals 30 damage to Meganium, its weakness will allow that damage to increase to 60. If a water type Pokemon deals damage to Meganium, its attack is reduced by 20. There are a couple ways of winning the match. The first thing you can do is by pulling all of your 6 prize cards. As I mentioned before, you pull prize cards when you knock out a defending Pokemon. Pulling all 6 will win you the match. Not only that, but knocking out defending Pokemon allows you to have an extra card into your hand which you can play. Sometimes, very valuable cards can be in your prize card pile. You can also knock out all of the opponent's benched Pokemon. When you knock out all the opponent's benched Pokemon, essentially there are no more Pokemon on the field to protect that person, and that person loses the match. You can also win when your opponent has no more deck cards to draw. Because of this, it is very important to make sure you yourself do not run out of cards, and manage your cards wisely. Now let's tie all this together. Now that you know about the draw phase, the action phase, and the attack phase, here's how a match starts. First, you shake hands with your opponent. Then you flip a coin. Whoever wins the coin toss gets to decide if they want to go first. You then shuffle your deck and draw 7 cards. If you have any basic Pokemon in your hand, lay that basic Pokemon onto the attack position face down. You can then place any other basic Pokemon you would like onto your bench face down. Then place the top 6 cards from your deck down as prize cards. After this has happened, flip your active and benched Pokemon face up and start the battle. The draw phase, action phase, and attack phase will repeat over and over until one player has lost. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this presentation on how to play the Pokemon trading card game. If you would like more detailed instruction and more specific instructions and rules, please refer to the Pokemon Trading Card Game Rules Book. Here we can see the X and Y rule book, which is the most recent expansion and has the most up-to-date information. Hopefully this will help you in your endeavors to becoming a Pokemon master, and maybe one day you yourself will be able to finally catch them all.